All right, now tell me about your gameplay, I guess. Um,
Okay. Um, yeah, so mainly where I struggle, I think, is just laning. Like, just everything about laning. I'm not that bad, but what's holding me back, I think, is my laning abilities, like my trading.
Interesting. Okay. Which one of these do you think will show that the most, or are both of them kind of
Um, I picked two lose games because I think that would be best to show, like, how I'm getting punished for my bad play.
okay?
Um, I think one of those games, like I'm gold 5, one of those games I was facing a plat 5 Varus.
Oh,
So,
baby.
yeah, I don't know how I got matched against that, but
Wait, how does this happen? What
uh
is going on?
yeah,
What? You have like silvers in your games,
I know.
and they have a platinum player. Wow, interesting, interesting.
So,
Okay, okay.
yeah, put that in there cuz yeah, I got
Oh, do you want to
fucked.
watch that one first, or is that one just
Uh, sure.
sure? Okay, let's take a look. So you said you had trouble laning, right? And specifically,
Yeah.
trading in particular. Um, when it comes to laning and trading, how much do you know in terms of matchups? I guess.
Um, well, I watched some of your videos before and I always try to look at, how am I going to lose trades, how am I going to die in lane, et cetera, et cetera. I look at the minions like more than anything, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, my games are really just either I completely stomp my opponent or I'm just screwed, you know? Like either
Interesting.
somebody else is horrible or I'm the horrible player, you know?
Okay, there's just big swings, I guess, in terms of uh,
Yeah.
win or lose, huh?
So I'm constantly thinking about, minions, levels especially. Uh, when somebody's gonna level up, when I should back off. So this Sona was just really screwing me up this game. I honestly didn't know what to
Uh,
do besides turtle.
this gank is Dunzo.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Varus wasted his flash. You can kill this guy. Just press heal. Oh, this is kind of awkward. Okay, okay, let's rewind. Okay, so in terms of okay, have you seen any of my videos where I go discuss laning matchups?
I might have, but not that I can recall.
So in terms of what you categorize these champions as, it's like how some lanes you really want to trade and some lanes you
Yeah.
don't. Like say for example you have a Nami and they have an Alistar you want to trade, right? So you can
Yeah.
get super good heal value off your wave. Um, in this lane, Jenna is a champion that wants to trade as well as poke, right? With her
Hmm.
shield, and so is Sona. She wants to do the exact same thing. So in that case, tell me what's the ideal situation here? How do you get an
Uh,
HP advantage off hitting them?
I go in for maybe one or like 1 second maybe, and Janna gets the shield on me, and I back away without receiving like I don't know if I have a minion advantage and I just go in for a quick trade and I let Janna know that I'm going in for a trade and she can just shield me so I don't take damage.
Okay, minion advantage is a always a good thing, right? But what? Let's say for example, you hit Varus, right, and you get a
Hmm.
shield. Varus hits you, and then he gets a heal, and then Sona hits you. Okay, so who won?
Okay, I lost.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not like we 100% lost, but it's not very
Yeah.
clear who won, right? So
Okay.
in that way, trading is meant to be used as a tool to outmaneuver your opponents in terms of you always win. That's what you want. When you trade, you have to know you win before you trade. Otherwise, you shouldn't be trading, right?
Okay.
So that's always like a misconception people have is that we just hit each other for whatever reason, just because we can touch each other, right? Just because I can hit them, I should. That's not necessarily the case, right? So how
Hmm.
do you guarantee an HP advantage on these guys when you have a trade versus trade lane, right? We'll consider
Um,
this kind of trade versus trade.
they walk into my minions or, they uh misposition, maybe.
So what would
Like,
we consider, misposition, right? It's like
one of them comes way further than the other against, let's say Jana's right beside me.
okay, so you kind of have the idea, but we need to get more specific. So in terms of
Okay.
like you said, one guy is far away from the other person, right? So let's say
Yeah.
in this case we have Sona's like behind Varus or something. So you guys hit Varus and then he gets a heal and then he hits back. So not easy, right? Because Sona can heal him from a distance, right? Could be a Nami, could be Soraka, whatever, same thing.
Yeah.
What if Sona's in front and you hit Sona hits back? How does Varus help?
Like, what do you mean? How does he help?
Yeah, say Sona's too far with an auto attack. So you guys hit Varus, and it's not obvious who wins, right? But what if Varus is the one who's playing back, and Sona is in front, right? And Sona can't. Varus can't auto attack, like in this case, right here,
Yeah.
right. So what if you guys hit Sona? How does Varus help?
He can't.
Exactly. So you want to 2v1 the support essentially. When you have these trade versus trade lanes, you want to gang up on the support. Right, because if you gang up on the AD carry, he's gonna get shielded, right, or he's gonna get healed or whatever. So it's still a 2v2. You gang up on the support and you run when the AD carry tries to come in, you won. That's kind of those are the kinds of trades we're looking for in this lane. Now, in terms of like other lanes, if they have the trade support and you have like an Alistar, you never trade, right? You just want to all in. Same thing if they have an Alistar and you have a Nami or whatever, you always want to trade. So in these trade versus trade scenarios, you want to hit them, right? So instead of going for a minion, and you know he's walking up, and you see Varus is far away, you hit him instead, and that we consider that a win, right? That's kind of the idea, right? But then if you like rewind all these times, anytime you're like trying to hit Varus or Varus is hitting you, that's something we want to avoid, right? Because it's not good for us, right? Because Varus trade is actually better than Xayah trade, right? So yeah,
I think another like adding on to that is a big problem is that I just take too much free damage. I think I think I just give my opponents too free of damage due to just how I play the lane. And yeah, yes, this work is like flaming us the whole game.
interesting. Gank, that gank is a 0% chance, so I don't know what he wanted.
He said he was
But okay,
Diamond 5 Smurf.
it seems good.
Anyway.
Whatever, doesn't really matter. As long as we are doing what we should, I guess. So in terms of like, when you have a man advantage, you know you want to fight, right?
Yeah.
So is there anything we could do better here?
We could have both all in the, not all in, but we could have got a winning trade on the Sona there when she stepped up on us.
Well, yeah, you do want to try and find an all in. It's not like it's not like an obvious all in, but you're gonna try and run them down because you have Warwick, right? That's kind of the idea. Sure, gank doesn't turn out. It's not like a clean gank, so it's fine. I think you know the idea, so we don't really have to delve too deep into that. But there's really not much you could do here, right? He already used flash when you used Q, so you couldn't really root him. So you don't really worry about something like that. It's just definitely worry about the matchup stuff, though, right? Oh, he's coming out for a repeat. Oh no, he's not. Oh, this is really good, right? When you aim Sona, right, is basically the idea.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll get a shield, but aiming Sona is the idea. That's an awkward cue.
Yeah.
Repeat. Nice try, I guess.
Flames.
It's kind of awkward because Warwick came bot twice now, and we're still in a questionable spot. Okay, let's talk about this. What happened here?
I know that this was a mistake that I saw after I made it.
Well,
Like, I let them 2v1 me, and I was at a health disadvantage as well.
Well, it's not 2v1 because you got a shield, right? So you still have some value from your support. The real question here is this goes back to like do you want to trade, do you not want to trade, right? So if you're 2v2, do you want to just trade with their AD carry?
No.
And how do you know that? Like, you have to give a reason too.
Oh, well, Varus outtrades me.
Right, and why?
Because of his W stack.
He's just gonna W stack plus E, and then you auto lose, right?
Yeah,
so then, how do you win this? If you wanted this fight, how would you do it, right? If for some reason you didn't want to trade but you wanted to all in, How would you do it?
Um, honestly, I don't know.
It would be something like Q auto attack root and then press W, right?
I think that is what I did. I got the root on him, but I just got blown up.
Right, but you don't want all in here, right? Because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't find it is the thing, right? It's like
yeah,
you actually it's not clear that you win all in either, right?
yeah.
So the idea behind what's going on here is you need to know um, what you want in the matchup, right? And what you want is to not trade, right? Because not only do you get out traded, but you also get out sustained. Because let's say you have an even trade, right, which is generous, and then
Hmm.
Sona presses W. Okay, now you guys lost for sure, right? Um,
Yeah,
so the idea is that you want to catch them with your feathers, or you want to all in, but you can't trade because you're always gonna lose the trade. Janna's always gonna lose a trade against sustained champions, right? So this is just an issue of you didn't know what you wanted to do, right? When you were fighting him, you thought you wanted to trade, but that's not actually correct, right? So if I had told you you never want to trade in this lane, except if you're 2v1 Sona, then you wouldn't have tried to hit him, right?
yeah, exactly.
Trying to hit him is always a mistake, right? And unless he doesn't have E or something like that. Like the standard is that we did not want the standard play is we don't want to trade against these lanes if they win trades, right? Um, that's kind of what happened in this lane thus far, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, it's
I
just
think.
basically the matchup idea, right? I don't think it's not that you don't know how to trade or uh, can't find the trades. It's just that you didn't know that you didn't want to trade. You know what I mean? Or you didn't know that if in a trade versus trade lane, you want to aim the support, um,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
long as the
I
80
would say
carry is
that.
not walked up, right? That's kind of the idea, right? You can't do anything now because they're like strong, and you still don't win trades, so it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, like, yeah. During this game, I didn't know what else to do besides turtle on my tower.
Right?
They
There's
just dove me straight up, and I just died. And
there's not much
max
you can
death.
do. Oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, see, she keeps getting me with that Q.
Well, honestly, it's okay as long as she doesn't get the auto attack off, right? Um, that's not too bad,
Yeah.
honestly.
Okay.
Janna trying to trade 1v1 trade probably not good for the reasons mentioned. But they have sustain, right? So sustain beats poke. Good luck with that, Janna. Um, right. So you guys are just in a losing matchup, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is that you just your goal is basically try and get as much money as possible so you can be useful, right? Um, that's like the first goal. And the second goal is don't do the thing they want to do. So like say you're playing against Leona, don't walk up so you can get all in. You know what I'm saying? In this lane, don't walk up so you can trade, right? Uh, like you said, if say for some reason, if we had rewinded this back and then they ran into your minions, you can win that trade because you're minions, right? That would be an
Yeah.
example of what do I do if they just run forward and we know we lose trade. So what do we do? Use your minions in that case. But now it's kind of hard for us to do anything. So you just want to farm, right? So anything that involves trading, we now know doesn't work. So you would know not to do any of this, right? Because you're gonna automatically lose that. You're like,
Yeah.
imagine if he had landed this E, that would have been disastrous, right?
Oh yeah.
That would have been a dive. So it's like, never want to trade. Also, you're also making it so you can't farm these minions. Okay, two parts to landing phase. Okay, so first you need to figure out your matchup in champ select, right? This is what I want you to do is categorize your lane in terms of these four categories. Okay, there's all in, right? There's
Mhm.
poke, there's trade, and there's catch. So what's an example of all in? I guess
Alistair, Leona, Thresh, Blitzcrank.
the first two are right. We'll hold off
Okay.
on the last two for now, right? So not Thresh, Leona and Alistar, very clear, obvious all-in champions, right? Point and click, right? Cannot be
Mhm.
dodged. The CC cannot be dodged, unless you can flash combo, but essentially cannot be dodged, right? What about 80 carries that are all in?
Mm, I would say Varus. Um, maybe Draven.
Okay, those are good ones.
Xayah.
Agreed. Agreed.
Um,
That's good enough. But you can like
yeah.
throw in Tristana and stuff too. But essentially, anyone who has a very high potential damage if they
Yeah.
use their combos or whatever, like Tristana 5 stack bomb or Varus 4 stack with his E, right? Xayah with a million feathers, etc., etc. Something like Caitlyn is not really all in, right?
Yeah.
Because it's skill shots and only poke. And then how about poke for supports?
Poke
What's
for
a good example?
supports. I don't know if I'd classify Xayah as all in or poke. Probably, probably poke, maybe.
Agreed. Poke, right?
Uh,
You just throw Qs.
Sona could be poke, but
Agreed.
um, who else? There's a lot of just people that play AP carries, support, brand support,
Right, that can
Saber
poke as well.
support,
Think about basically anything that can hit you
Karma.
without you being able to respond. Yeah, karma, exactly. Anything that can hit you and you cannot respond, right? That's poke. And then what about catch? Well, actually, we'll save that for last. What about trade? Trade is something we've been going
Trade.
over, but I guess
Uh,
trading supports.
Draven again, or
Okay,
oh,
that's good.
trade supports. I would say maybe Sona.
Mm-hmm.
You know, strong damage with decent heal as well. Um, I don't know who I would put there that I wouldn't classify as poke as well.
Trade is sustain and non-skill shot based damage, right? So Nami point and click and sustain.
Okay.
Soraka sustain. Janna point and click, shield, right? Anything along those lines. So and then what about catch?
Obviously Blitzcrank Thresh.
Right, right. Those guys fall in that category. Now, why would I say they are? Why would I separate catch and all in?
Just because they have grabs that kind of favor the all in pretty much, and if they don't land them, it's probably not a like they would probably lose an all in versus Leona per se.
Exactly, right? It took me a while to figure this out, but they aren't. I stopped classifying them as all in because if you're in an all in, anything with catch can be dodged. With flash, with heal, with sidestep, if it's dodged, it's over. You lose, right? So catch goes first. If you're playing with catch, catch always goes first, or you're gonna lose. Or not, you're gonna lose, but you have a high chance of losing. Because their skill shot can be dodged later, and you have no control over that skill shot, right? It's just like your teammate throwing that shit. You have no idea what's gonna happen, so you always let them go first. Anyone with Blitzcrank, Morgana, Thresh, you have to let them go first, or you're gonna lose. So let's put this in perspective. So in this game, you have Ezreal Karma versus Xayah Khan. What's Ezreal Karma in terms of their? How many classifications do they fit or categories?
Poke, trade. I wouldn't say all in. Maybe catch as well.
Agreed. So highest is poke, and then maybe trade, probably not trade, because Karma's shield is a shield, but not often used to trade. Is this right? Because it's like less obvious than something like Nami. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then catch, you're right, because how many times have you seen Karma flash do that shit or whatever? Tether, right? Flash tether, and then you're stuck, right? So catch, right? And then what about Xayah Khan?
All in, and possibly catch, and I guess could be trade too. The sustain.
Perfect, right? 100%. I agree, 100%. Maybe less so about the sustain, but more so Xayah's W cannot be dodged. Right?
Yeah,
you can't dodge extra damage. So how do you play that lane? How do you play that lane out?
This is the Xayah Khan versus Ezreal Karma. We catch one of them out, pretty much. Like, it could be just all in. Because we definitely win the all in.
Right. The instant you know that their jungler's not here, you're just trying to find all in as fast as possible before you get poked down. Right? That's the idea. And then anytime you get poked, you know it's a mistake. Anytime you find a trade, you know it's good. Right? So that's kind of how you can know you can play this lane out. So if we go back to our example and we're like, oh, this is trade versus trade, and we kind of get a little bit deeper and we say their trade is better because they have sustain, then we know we never want to trade unless we can hit Sona. Right. And then we want to catch. So if our work is here, we set up with feathers and then catch. That's it. right?
Yeah.
So that would tell us that we never want to walk out and like take hits, if you know what I mean, right? It's the reason why we end up like kind of dunzo, right? Not much we can do. Oh, if you had gotten that heal off.
Oh, I didn't heal. Hey, shit.
Nice try. Well, yeah, that's essentially this laning just ended up being that concept, right? We took every time we didn't follow the matchup is when we got punished, right? We lost so much HP that we can't really do anything, right?
So
that's basically what's going on here.
Yeah, this kind of turned out. I thought, okay,
Oh my,
maybe
he
Udyr
flashed.
would come, but I thought I would get away with this, but I end up just getting.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you're on top of him. I think you could have killed him.
The Q killed me after I flashed.
All right, let's take a look at this again. So yeah, the power of catch, right? Which is Xayah. So this is really good catch. And then Udyr comes out of the woodwork, like holy shit, let's fucking run. I'm surprised that you didn't die immediately, but wow, that was really lucky. And then you're trying to finish him off because you have massive E damage, but I think you're just in melee range.
Yeah,
so
I should have maybe flashed first.
I think you could have walked back more. Way. I'm not sure because there are a lot of interesting variables here, but the real idea isn't that we lost this fight because we played mechanically wrong. Is there anything wrong with us going for this?
Well, I knew Varus backed, but I did not think about where the jungler was.
How do you know Varus backed?
Because he just shoved into my tower, and I killed this wave within like a reasonable time that he couldn't possibly be back in lane.
So Varus was sitting in this bush next to you. Can you see my cursor, by the way? I don't know if you can see my cursor. Can you see my cursor?
No.
Oh, what the heck? All right. I wonder if I can. I don't know if I can draw my screen. Anyways, you see this bush on your right, next to the wall, right?
Okay.
What if he's sitting in there?
Well, he's under my minions.
Right, but let's say he's hiding in here. You guys check this bush, and Udyr comes out, and he's behind you. Don't you guys just die?
We lose.
Right. So the idea is that if you don't know where the enemy team is, you can't assume they base or anything like that. That's how you get punished, right? If you assume that their XYZ spot, like if they base or whatever, you have to literally see them base or come back. Otherwise, you have to assume that you have to entertain the possibility they could be in here, right?
It's just assuming.
Right. So either you can walk in to check, you can put a ward down, or you can push and hug this wall, hug the left wall or something away from him, right? But the instant you see like Sona over here, and jungler 80 carry top is missing, right? This is a warning sign.
Yeah.
Right. Who's their top laner? I don't even know who their top laner is, but most of the time it's gonna be someone who can TP.
I think.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's pretty bad then. Yeah. What happens if he TP's behind you?
We lose. Yeah.
Exactly. So the idea is that before you fight, you need to check your numbers advantage. Okay. And it is good that you're looking for the catch, but this is just like, there's no way you can realistically win it. Okay, you play this scenario out 100 times. How many times do you kill this Sona and get away?
None.
I agree, 0. How do you stop her from walking away, right? After this, there's nothing to stop her from leaving, right? So it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, we could have outplayed Udyr, but we shouldn't have done this in the first place, I think. That's what I think. And I think, Warwick should have helped as well. But they still have an unknown TP or something like that, right? You have to make sure that you have at least the same number of people as them, or you can one-shot this guy. And you don't have either. So that's kind of the issue here.
Okay.
Oh, actually, Echo has TP, so maybe this was possible, but it's not clear, right? So here's the thing. In League of Legends, you want consistency, right? That's how you climb, right? It has to be crystal clear what you want, what's good, what's bad. Anything that's gray area, you should consider unsafe, right? Okay. So if we determine our matchup is trading is bad, that's red. So we never do that. And And then it's like, oh, if we have a jungler, if our jungler's here and we saw their jungler top, then it's good to trade because your jungler's about to come out and kill them. So you're baiting them, right? But if we do anything that's like not sure, I just lost our place. Not sure, like if you try and, like for example, try and thin out the wave right in front of Varus, that is very much either red or gray area, and you'll get punished essentially every time you try and do something. Okay, this is a better example of gray area. You try to catch Sona, who looked like she was alone, so instant punish, right? I was not sure if you're gonna get anything, and neither were you. So this is a play that we don't know if it's good or not, and you only want to make good plays in solo queue, right? Otherwise, you kind of lose any kind of influence over the game that you have. Dude, this work is upset, man.
Oh yeah, we were chilling at this tower for a long time, and he just said it wouldn't come because the first 2 ganks didn't work or something. I don't know.
Okay, let's say war comes, you kill them. Does that change anything?
Well, it gives us free pressure, I guess, to take objectives.
I think you guys, there's nothing for him to do. Is the thing. Is that after the first gig, it was like there's nothing you can do to save this lane essentially. So that's why he's not coming, right? Is that even if he comes, I think that you guys still lose 2v2 because you can't catch up. You need a lot of time and farm to catch up. So he should just help someone else, right? Is the idea. So there's not much you can do. In solo queue, you never really want your jungler to gank bot unless it's the freest thing. Unless it's like literally the freest thing you know. Like I said, it has to be not gray. It has to be green. It has to be. He has to know it's gonna work. Otherwise, it's not good. It's a throw, right? Basically, doing anything that's not good is essentially a throw because you're using resources to do something that doesn't work, right? Or you use resources to do something that gives them resources because it fails, right? Something like that.
Yeah. I try to go into all my games just assuming my jungler isn't gonna help me at all.
Yeah. That's basically the way you should look at it, right? Oh, this guy's dead.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Not much you can do about that. Nice try on doing damage, but not too much you could do. Sure.
Yeah.
Essentially, this is a game where laning was just the main factor, I think, in terms of what's going on here. Oh my god, you can kill this guy. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I totally messed up my ulti there.
I think even if you hit would you have killed him? Could you say without a doubt in your mind you could kill him?
No, I wouldn't.
That's the thing we're aiming for, is without a doubt in your mind you can do XYZ thing, right? So if you had heal, we'd probably get away, right? Or something like that. You need to make sure it works. That's the kind of main idea, is you have to make sure it works, right? You have to make sure what you're doing is good. Otherwise, it's like punish, right? Like this. How do you know that you can fight for the ward?
Can't.
Yeah, you have to come up with a reason, right? There always has to be a reason for why you can do something and why you can't. Okay, so I guess their cleanup squad is here. And then we are going mid to cover for Syndra, sure. Running top. Okay, hold up. Where should you go after here? If I told you your goal is to make as much money as possible so you can catch up and help your team later in the game, how do you do that?
Maybe take some CS mid since there's 4 of us mid, and then go to bot because they're clearly pushing.
So if you stay mid and you get 3 CS, Syndra gets 3 CS, is that good or bad?
I guess that's bad, yeah.
Right, you're sharing a lane, right? So you never want to share a lane. So where should you go?
Jungle camps maybe?
You can't jungle camps because Warwick needs them too, right?
Okay. I have no idea then.
You have to go bot, right? When they push in, you have to clear that wave, right? Anything else is, unless there's a fight that's gonna happen right now, if they push, you're gonna lose that money that you needed to come back in the game, right?
Okay.
So you need to come bot, right? And the reason why you can't be spending so much time up there is because he's getting a lot of hits on the tower, right? So the idea is that there's not. This is also a gray area thing, right? You're not sure if you can get anything here, right? Isn't this the idea? Is that we're not sure
Yeah.
anything is going on here. So you need to make sure that you have a clear idea of what's good, what's not sure, and what's bad. All right. So good is like always playing the matchup right. Good is always getting money, like clearing waves, pushing waves, so you can generate money to build your items. Right. Not sure is anything like pretty much if you're not sure, right? Not sure. I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. And then bad is doing something you know does not work. Right.
Yeah.
So let's say trying to fight 2v2 when they're super far ahead, we know that doesn't work, so we can't do that. This is just like
Yeah. I'm not sure why I did that. I don't know. Yeah.
I think you're looking for the all in, right? Um
I saw Syndra, but like I totally should have waited.
well, it doesn't isn't she fighting Vel'Koz, so it's not like
I
you guys have
didn't.
more people, right?
I like saw her coming, and then I immediately was in on the fight, so I didn't know that she was fighting Vel'Koz.
Hmm.
But I should not have done this at all.
I think the idea here, the game is kind of like donezo at this point, so
Yeah.
it's hard to see if this is a bad habit or something we need to look at. So I wouldn't worry about this too much, but it's still along the same lines of what we were talking about, right? In terms of the matchup, right? Do you guys win all in?
Nope.
And why is that?
This out damage us completely.
With what? With what specific reason do you not win all in? What specific item?
Like what item Varus has?
Yeah, yeah. What item does
All
Varus have?
glitches.
Yeah, dude, you can't never win. So
Yeah.
now the only category you guys win in is catch. So that's how you know that the only thing you want to do is try and catch him with your feathers and your E, and you have to have your team nearby. That's it. That's all you can do, right? So anything that's not
Yeah.
that is not good. And then okay, now we have an extra person, so maybe trying to all in is good, but the missing piece here is that they're not just two people, right? How many people are missing on the map?
Looks like Renekton's top, but there's two missing.
Right.
Vel'Koz showed up.
Right. Vel'Koz and their jungler. So what if they were right behind Varus? It's just like
Yeah.
impossible, right? So what should you have done instead, I guess?
I shouldn't have even. I shouldn't have even done the trade. Like I shouldn't have even gone this close to him.
Right. So what's the goal, I guess? When you're what's your main objective in this situation?
To catch up.
Right. And how do you do that?
By not taking stuff like that and catching up in farm.
Like to kill the minions, right?
Yeah.
Your goal is to kill the minions here. So anything that's like not clearing minions, it has to work, or that's a throw, right? That's kind of how we consider. That's how what's it called? Like Smurfs or whatever can always win on lower ranked accounts, is because everything they do, they make sure is good, right? Comparatively, like yeah, if Warwick's Diamond 5, Smurf, whatever, that means everything he's trying to do in the jungle is going to work out compared to Udyr, who is doing weird shit, right? He has 6 kills, even though he failed 2 gank spot. So the idea is that everything you do must be good, right? And everything you do, every time you do something that's like not along those lines, is something you might want to take a look at, right? Clean is what we're going for, right? And then how do we know what's the right thing? We look at the matchup, right? And what we want at any point in time. So what we want is pretty simple. It's just make money, right? And then matchup does take a lot more thinking, but once you figured it out, then you say, oh, I want to all in, or oh, I don't want to trade, etc., etc. And then you just keep telling yourself that, and you're good to go. Oh, baby, 5v5.
Yeah,
Holy smokes, wombo combo. Oh, no, not like this. Vel'Koz damage. It looks so good at first.
Yeah.
Let's watch again. Not much you can do here, right?
Yeah.
It's just I just took a bunch of Vel'Koz damage, and then we try to hit Renekton. I think that's fine. Wait, let's watch this again. Right, not much we can do in this fight, so no need to worry about this fight. You play this fairly correct, I think.
I just tried to. I was just thinking like we shouldn't be taking this fight, so I just decided to just try to hit who I could closest to me.
Right, and that's right. The only thing you could have done
think I
better
died.
is like watch the Vel'Koz ulti because we took a lot of damage. But honestly, you played that fine, right? You don't worry. That's you play that team fight fine. Not bad. There's literally nothing you could do better, except like not take damage. That's about it. Let's see what's going on here. I don't think you guys want to fight this. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I tried to
baby, can you
knock
one
down,
shot?
but-
Oh, no, you're all dead. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, so this is basically, the game was mostly centered on laning phase this game, right? And it is kind of unfair how this guy's literally a tier above. So it's hard to practice or do the things we normally do because now we're getting punished for everything. And it's like, wait,
Yeah.
what? Right? So I wouldn't worry about this too much. But at least you know, what is it? You can essentially do the same thing he's doing, but with just like extra knowledge, right? It's not your. I don't think your mechanics are a huge problem. I don't even think they're a problem actually. I think your mechanics are overall not bad. So it's literally just, what did you want to do in this situation, and then how do we make sure we get it done, right? In this case, it was just we kind of look at this. Look, your mechanics are pretty good. Look at this. Just press W, 3 hits. There's gonna be E, and then you're just gonna finish him off with Q. Nice. Like that was good, right? It was all mostly we weren't sure, or it wasn't obvious that you knew what you wanted to do. Oh, okay, here we go.
I was just like, the
Oh,
game's
no.
over. I'm just trying to kill somebody here.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, this is whatever. But that's the idea: is you want to know what your job is at any given time, right?
Yeah. I think
Oh,
just
baby.
the problem is sometimes I just literally don't think, and that's just the issue.
Right. You always have to be thinking like, oh, no
Yeah.
trade, something like that. Let's see if this one sheds
Um,
any light. Is this one's more even? I assume, right?
Yeah, we actually won this game. It just felt really shitty for me, so.
Okay, so first up is lane phase, right? So what is Xayah Tamkench?
I could say could be poke, it could be catch. Yeah, catch, I would say, actually.
Is
Cause
catch the only category?
I wouldn't consider all in.
Tom
wouldn't
Kench isn't
cons-
all in.
Is he all in?
Well, what happens if he hits someone 3 times, stuns them, and eats them?
Yeah.
That's
he's
pretty.
not.
That's pretty dank, right?
I was thinking of that as catch, but yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
I would say, yeah, that's true. The tongue itself would be the catch part, but
Yeah. Plus
the
fire.
all in is more prevalent, right?
Okay.
In terms of you don't pick Tom Kench so you can catch them with the Q. You pick him so you can eat them. Well, I guess yeah, you can catch him. But it's basically all in, right?
Yeah.
Is if he's on top of you, he doesn't need to land Q. Is the idea, right?
Okay.
So he can be catch, but more like all in because he has insane damage, right? And then Xayah is right. We're trade, catch, all in, whatever. We got it all. Xayah's got it all. And then what about them? What do they have?
They've got the all in, and they've also got the catch.
Agreed,
I would
right?
say.
Their all in is less stronger than yours. How do we know?
You said less stronger?
Yeah, it's not as strong.
How do we know? Well, Tom Kench can literally just eat somebody, and his damage is just higher than Nautilus's, I believe.
Okay, that's one reason. What's the other reason? The support matchup. The Nautilus has a hook, so inherently he has less damage, right?
I have just more damage over Jinx pretty much because she's got traps and W. But I can just out damage her with my feathers.
Right, you press W, you always win. That's how we
Yeah.
know your trade as well, right? So you're gonna be trade all in, and they are only catch. essentially,
Okay.
right? There, we would say Nautilus is more catch. Well, he can be all in too because he can auto attack someone. So Nautilus is catch all in, and then Jinx is like feels bad, dude. Jinx sucks, so she can't do anything. So the idea is that if you find an all in and you see that Master Yi isn't here, or the all in is so good you can win 2v3, you go forward, right? That's how we know
Yeah.
what to do in lane, if that makes any sense. Um, and then it's like, oh, we want to trade, so you walk up and you press W and you win against Jinx every time, right? That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, we had a big fuck up double kill that we gave to Jinx.
Really?
It's just because, well, I don't want to say just because, combination of things, but one thing is I'm super bad with my heal because I leave it so late, and then I don't use it, and then I think that I would have been okay to continue fighting, since I had heal, but I don't use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're like saving it, and you're like, I can fight because I have heal, but then you don't use
Yeah,
heal.
yeah, and I just lose. It's just a smack in the face whenever that happens.
How are they not level 2? Oh, they're not killing that minion. What the hell? Interesting. Oh, who's their jungler?
I can't remember.
I'm sure we'll find out, right?
Yeah.
Think we don't need to talk about wave management, to be honest, but just for shits and giggles, do you want to push? Is put like I guess, do you want to push in this lane? I guess would be the general question.
I don't know actually.
Okay, do you want to push in general? That's a better question for solo queue.
If
Oh,
you ask
Master
me,
Yi.
I would say no, because I always try to freeze under my tower, like right in front. Just
So this is not something you need to do yet, but if you're pushing, you're winning the game.
okay.
Right. And the reason being is, hold up. The reason being is, let's say they push you in, and you're just freezing on the tower. You're very safe. You're gonna farm. You're gonna get every last hit, and then all of a sudden, they push, and Nautilus goes mid.
Okay.
How do you punish?
Well, you can just try to shove, and you can't really roam because you'll just be too far behind him.
Right, and no matter what you do, they come out ahead because they killed mid. Right. So the
Yeah.
idea is that if you push, you have pressure over this side of the map. Or let's say Jinx is pushing you in, like Varus was pushing you in last game. How hard was it for you to farm under tower?
Oh, it was hard.
Exactly. So essentially, pushing gives you advantages. It gives you options, right? So you can extend your lead. Now, what's the danger of pushing? That's super obvious.
It's ganks, TPs,
Right.
etc.
So the next question is getting ganked good?
It can be. It's if you don't lose anything, like you don't die or anything, you're just wasting time for the enemy jungler and
Agreed.
absorbing pressure.
Agreed. So this is the solo queue secret: is that if you push and you win your lane, and then jungler comes ganks and you win that too, you've won bot lane, you've won jungle, and then your jungler ganks another lane, and you've won a solo lane. So by yourself, you've won 3 lanes, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea is what's going on. That's actually what happened last game with Varus when they pushed, Warwick ganked, and then it was like dunzo, right? It felt like we couldn't do anything, right? Because we lost bot, we lost jungle, and then I think Udyr ganked another lane because he had like 8 kills or something. So we lost that lane too. So it's the same idea. Is if you can push, you push, and then how do you know you can't push?
Are we talking about jungler kits almost? Like if they have
In a way.
lockdown?
Right. Okay. So, let's say in this lane you can push if you have flash and full HP. Right. This is the general rule. This is the general rule. Is flash and full HP means you're safe, from ganks as long as you just don't get hit by catch, all in, whatever. Right. You flash it. But what if they have Callista Thresh at least, and you have flash and full HP, and you push? Are you gonna die?
I can just
Still gonna die, right? So in that case, you need your jungler here and flash and full HP, right? So with certain cases, you cannot push, but most of the time, if you have flash and full HP, you can push. So in this case, you have Jinx, Nautilus, Master Yi, and you have Tahm Kench, Xayah. Can you push with flash and full HP? And why is that?
Because I have escape. Plus, I have Tahm Kench, which is literally he'll just eat me up, and then he'll just outrun everybody.
Perfect,
Not to
right? They
mention
can't
I have
stop you.
flash shield.
You just walk away because Tahm
Yeah.
Kench will eat the Nautilus hook out. And then what if you have no flash? Can you push?
I think I still probably could with Tom Kench if he was there.
I agree. This is the exception because you have Tahm Kench. You have an extra dude, right? What if you had like let's say for example if you had a Jenna.
No.
What is the condition of you dying if they gank? Like what has to happen for you to die in a gank?
They just have to lock me down.
With
Pretty
what
much.
specifically, right? What specifically?
Well, if they have more than one CC ability, because Jenna's just gonna try to flip them off me, gonna shield me, right? Or slow one of them. But
Like if
she
you get
can't do
hit
anything
by
else.
if you get hit by this ability in a gank, you're dead. What is that ability?
Oh, the Nautilus Q is it?
Yes, the hook, right? So this is the idea. Is basically a mini game in terms of trying to figure out whether or not you can push, right? But the general rule is if you have flash and full HP, you can push. If you do not have flash and full HP, you look to see, oh, if I push, what happens, right? How do I die to XYZ, right? In this case, it's pretty simple. It's just you never die, essentially, unless you have no HP, right? That would be the condition. Is you have no HP. Then you can actually die to a gank. That's about it. But that's how we kind of know that we want to push, right? If you can push, you push. But if you don't know, it's better to not push, right? So if you didn't know in this game, it's better to not push because let's say you pushed and you didn't know if you were gonna die to a gank and you died to a gank. How bad is that?
It's really bad. Yeah.
Right, because bot won and jungle won, right? So you're giving up two lanes. So that's the idea: is that there's potential to win and then potential to lose. What the hell happened here?
I was
What's-
trying to ping him off, but she trapped him with traps. See, I didn't want to push too far because they had such a bigger wave, right?
So what's the main reason you lost the all in? If you guys are supposed to win double all in, you guys are double all in, right? And you guys are supposed to win this 100%. What happened?
Well, level advantage and minion advantage.
Level advantage, right? Yeah, I would say mini advantage counts too.
Yeah.
But mostly the level advantage, right? And this is also one of the reasons why you push, so you can get level first,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's just nothing you can do about it, and he just dies. So not your fault.
Well, I died too. Yeah.
Oh,
right
what?
here.
Okay. What's this an example of? What rule? I guess what rule are we breaking when we do this?
It's 2v1. They can just
Yes.
me.
2v1. You're breaking the 2v1 rule. Let's say you lived here. Okay, is this a good trade?
Well, I saw she was aggroing all of my minions, but I was level 2 and I totally disregarded that. So
Well,
I shouldn't have taken
let's-
it, I don't think.
Let's put this in perspective. This is a more advanced concept, but if you have if you know your jungler's top, your jungler just dived top and they killed him, right? And the enemy jungler is coming bot, and the enemy team is pushing into you, right? Because their jungler is coming. How do you survive the dive?
I've got to root somebody, or I flash and heal as well.
If you're at 50% HP, can you survive the dive?
No, probably not.
All right. If you're at 75% HP, can you survive the dive?
I think so.
It's getting gray area though, right? You didn't say yes. If you're at 100%, that's your best chance, right?
Okay.
So if you have less
I see
people,
what you're saying.
you never want to trade. If you have less people, you never want to trade unless your trade was so good that it's worth, right? And so good means like you lost 10%, they lost like 80% or something like that.
Okay.
In this case, I think you even lost this trade. So the idea is if you have less people, you don't want to trade so that you can win the dive. And then if you have more people, you want to do what this Jinx is doing, because what happens if you're at 10 HP and she's at 10 HP?
Nautilus just comes down.
Perfect, right? Now it just fucking walks up and you're like, wait, what do I do, right? You can't even get XP. So that's the idea. It's kind of breaking two rules here, which is 2v1 and well, actually that's basically one rule. Is if there are more people, you don't want to fight, right? It's nothing to do with mechanics, right? As you can see, you landed all this stuff. You landed so many feathers. Sure, you could have healed, but the heal would not have mattered, right? It was the fact that we tried to trade when we shouldn't have was our issue here, right? So there's only really one I guess issue with the laning phase, right? Which is we need to know what we want to do, because if we just play and we don't know what the goal is, how do we win, right? How do we create an advantage if we don't know how to do what we want to do? If that makes any sense. I don't know. Is that English? It's like if we don't know how to create an advantage, then how do we win, right? How do we win laning?
You're just hoping that you're gonna win.
Yeah, exactly. That was me, honestly, back in the day when I had no idea how to lane. I always lose against the higher ranked players, and it took me a long time before I figured this stuff out. Right? Is matchup is very important, and knowing what you need to do and how to do it is also very important. Right? So if you guys went all in, this is perfect. You just kill this guy, throw him, eat him, throw him into tower. This is a win. Right? What kind of mistake did we make here, though?
So yeah, I want to go this, but then I back.
Oh, whoa. Hold on. Okay.
I don't know. I try to get the root off him. He swallows him. I don't think I could do anything else because of my cooldowns besides auto him.
Could you have saved anything?
Yeah, I probably could have seen that he was gonna swallow him and then saved my feather recall or blade
Right.
recall.
Agreed. Save your W right here.
W.
Right? Isn't W the reason why you went all in? Right? Your W is the main reason, right? So we didn't have enough damage. But look at this. Even with all these things that we could have done better, and they got the 2 kills, you guys won. All you have to do is just flash and kill this guy, right? That's how important matchup is, right? That's how this knowledge play the matchup incorrectly, 2 kills for you, right? That's how important it is to know, we win this, we don't win this, right? So if you see this guy walking up, this is an all-in. We're going to go for maximum damage possible. So how do you do maximum damage possible, I guess?
Try to land the most feathers I can.
Right, so you just
you
press W, hit someone for the whole duration, and then QE or something like that. Or you can save W for last. It doesn't matter. As long as you're doing maximum damage, you're happy, right? So that's the idea. But I think here all you have to do is just flash on this guy and you'd win. Or use heal. I don't know. Oh, you did use heal. And then it's like, oh, we missed a kill. So that's really awkward. But essentially, you guys had won that, right? Let me see. What item does she even have? Can we? Is there? Do you use tab anytime here?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But they were so ahead of you, and you guys won, right? So it just shows you guys should have won, I guess. That just goes to show how super important the matchup is, right? And I keep saying, matchup, because I think this is the thing that will help you the most in laning phase. Is if you know what to do based on champions, I think you'll play differently, right? That's the idea, at least. Oh my, goodbye. This is the idea of trading, right? Trade so that if your jungler's coming, one shot, and then they trade so that if their jungler's coming, they can one shot you. Too bad Shaco can just deceive in. Seems good. Shaco getting buffed next patch, I think, too. See, that's okay. You can't really help this guy, I'm pretty sure. Oh, baby, he's getting away.
Yeah, he gets away, I think, actually.
Oh, maybe you can help this guy. Oh, no, you can't. Okay, that's fine. Very nice. I think you could stay for another wave, right? Why do I think you can stay for another wave?
In front of the wave, in what situation?
Is it better to base now or base after you kill these minions?
Oh, I didn't look, so.
Oh, yeah, they're pushing these minions in, right? So if you don't stay, you lose 6 minions. And then if you do stay, how do they punish you? And then the answer is they can't. Oh, yeah, but you have Tom Kench is already here, right?
Oh.
Tom Kench is
okay.
I don't know if you can see the map, but Tom Kench is right there, right? He's at the second tower, so you wait until Tom Kench is in range, and then you can clean this up in base, right? But still think you don't have to worry as much about wave management yet, right? Oh, what happened here? Whew. The replay freaked out. You see this?
Oh.
Interesting. Whatever. I would say you might want to work on farming under tower too, because I think that's becoming a trend as well. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
How do you get all these minions on the tower?
set them up pretty much.
Like
I accidentally hit. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just ruined two of them.
Exactly, exactly. So to practice this, at first just don't hit any minions, right? At first just last hit them naturally, right? Don't use abilities or anything like that because you'll mess up the minions. Um, yeah, that's the idea. You guys still win all in, right? Just because of the matchup. Oh, actually, they're level 6. I lied. Yeah, they won. They won too many fights. Never mind. If you guys were level 6, nah. Okay, let's talk about this too. So you know how we talked about matchup determines how you want to play, right?
Yeah.
You would play all in, and their trade you want to all in, and then level 6 comes around. Does that change? That's always the
Yes.
question. You always have to think about that. Sometimes it does, right? Sometimes it doesn't. But when it does, you have to make note of it and play differently, right? So in this case, how does their level 6 change the matchup?
Um, Nautilus gains one more all-in ability, and Tom
Yes,
Kench just has
Tom
his
Kench.
yeah.
You got like catch, I guess. Tom Kench
Yeah.
turned more into catch with his ulti. And then how about Jinx?
Jinx has that nuke, and I've just got my getaway pretty much, or aggressive R.
Right, you can cancel like Nautilus ult or Jinx ult or
Yeah.
something like that. So I think it since they got two ultis tier 1, they're probably less favored in the all in now, right?
Okay.
Is how you should think about it. That's the idea. Oh, Mercy. Oh, what a
Yeah.
sick eat, dude. Oh, that was so free. And then look at the Fizz punish, right? This is why if you gank and it doesn't work, punish, right? He lost 6 minions mid, so that's really good. Really good for your team. Not only that, he lost his ulti too, so hot damn.
Yeah.
Very nice.
One thing I wanted to kind of ask about is itemization.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, my knowledge of itemization is like build these 3 or 4 items and then decide what you're gonna build for the last 2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some people who just like completely change like their build, and I just never really understand that.
On Xayah, it's essentially just Essence Reaver Zero item IE, right? Pretty much almost every time.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we
then
don't. That's pretty much it, right? And then
yeah.
maybe if they have like 3 tanks building armor and get a last whisper early, I don't know. It's pretty much Essence Reaver Zero item IE, right?
Okay.
No need to really change that up. You know what I'm saying? I think there's always like a lot of build questions, but honestly, League is more about how you play rather than what you build, unless you're building like a death cap or something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that clears that up. Thanks.
hmm And then I guess is this punishable? We can talk about this, I guess.
Well, where I'm standing right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he could grab me, but Tom Kent should just eat me.
Right. And then what if they aim Tom Kench?
Okay.
Then we
I
have an
think
issue,
we would
right?
lose.
Right. We have then we got a problem because we know that
She's
not
doing
only
well.
is their all in almost equal to ours, if not better, they also have an item like huge item advantage, right?
Yeah.
Basically, if you don't know, this is good. Like, give a reason why you're doing this.
What did I just autoed him and then. Oh, yeah. There's no reason for me to walk
Right.
that close. It's coming to me.
If you can't come up with a reason, then you want to play to what your goal is, and your goal is to wave clear, right?
Okay.
Unless you have something better, unless you can come up with something better, right? Like my jungler is right here. I'm trying to bait him into hooking me. That would be something better than just wave clearing, right? Because then we can have a man advantage fight, or there's a TP behind them. We want to all in, right? Something like that. If you cannot come up with a reason, then if you do this, it's most likely punishable, right? And even if you don't get punished like here, you might get punished by like the higher ranked players, right? When you climb. So
Yeah.
definitely something you might want to look at, right? Is all you want to do is just clear this stuff and you're happy.
I think my team carried this game for me.
Yeah, not much you can do, bot, right?
Yeah.
It's just like they just have too many items because of the last two fights. Yeah, if you have to
Yeah.
like
Loaded,
this, if
pretty
you have to
much.
sit on their tower, you want to sit on their tower, right? If you can't find a reason why you can leave tower, then stay on their tower. Um, oh, and then Shaco's here, so you guys want to find something. Is there anything? Is there a problem with this gank that you can figure out?
Well, it's coming from behind.
Is there anything fundamentally wrong with this gank? Like,
Well, we
what's the
don't.
worst case scenario?
Well, we don't have any engage, pretty much. Like, and like in this situation, we don't really have engage.
Well, hold on, hold
Um,
up. Aren't you guys catch?
yeah,
So
but
technically,
they're both too far, and we're just pushing into them right now. Like he's coming for the gank when the wave is resetting.
they're the having an extra person will mean you essentially always win. That's what
Okay.
I want you to think. Um, and then the second part to that is check the map to see if you have more people than them.
Master E.
Right. So Master Yi sitting behind them. This gank fails no matter what. And then let's say it's 3v2. You guys are gonna win no matter what. That's what I want you to think. Right. So if there's no Master Yi, you guys win this. Right. 100%. You can E flash on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got screwed there.
Oh, you guys still won, but you died here, right? I guess when you have more people, what's the idea?
I guess I could probably play a bit safer than what I just did.
Right.
Because
So
we
how
were gonna kill
exactly?
Nautilus pretty much, right?
Right.
I
Exactly.
killed him and then not died.
And remember the thing where we said it has to be good for
Yeah.
it to be 100% good, like always. Like this is like gray area. If you ulti, you're not sure if you're gonna one shot him or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not sure, you shouldn't do it, right? Only good. So if we know hitting this Nautilus is already good, we look to improve on it in a way we know works 100%, right? So maybe you could have like rooted him here, but I wouldn't have ultied him, right? What does the ulti get us?
Just gets us more feathers, but he completely dodged it with flash heal.
Right,
Probably
so it
hit
wasn't.
two of them. Yeah. It
Maybe if you really wanted to make this play work, you can kill after him and then R flash. I mean E flash, but even then, I would just play more, play for more value. Like just hit the closest guy, right? Unless you see a play that works, because the only reason why you die, like usually that could be okay, but the reason why we lose here is because they have so many items, right? So we have to play even
Yeah.
better. We have to play even cleaner to make it work. So. Okay, team fight going on. Running mid. Okay, looks good. We have more people, right? So you win. Oh, can you catch this guy? Oh, you got him. Go Tom Kench. This is free. 100% free, right? You just have so many people here. It doesn't matter. Nahles can do whatever he wants. He's just gonna die. Oh my god. They got Shaco because he just dead.
Yeah.
That's awkward. Think he kills himself, whatever, not really your fault. That was a good find by them. You had the nice follow. So yeah, essentially the only real, well, the biggest issue, not the only real issue, but the biggest issue I think for you to work on is lane phase, right? And it's good because it's just one thing you need to work on, right? Instead of like 10 things. Oh, that was a nice catch, right? Oh, you guys don't think you can win that? I guess it's fair if they have too many items. Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe, but I'm pretty sure I was just too far behind at this point.
Well, it looked pretty good, right? Remember, matchup overall. So if we're and he has less HP, right? So if we're able to find this all in, and he has less HP, and we think our all in is kind of equalized. I think you guys actually win out because you can ulti Nautilus ulti, right? So overall, you guys win. But I think it's fine if you don't know. This is what I want, right? If you don't know, it's better to do the good thing, which is kill these minions, right? You don't have to punish every single mistake, right? League isn't about punishing every single mistake your opponent makes. It's about punishing when you know it's a punish, right? Instead of getting baited, and making sure you don't make and minimize your own mistakes, right? So no matter what rank you go to, it's the same idea because it's impossible to punish every single mistake, right? We're not robots, right? Legit impossible. So we're just trying to make sure we only find the easy punishes, right? That's kind of how we create advantages. Oh my god, you see this?
Yeah.
Base right in front of Tom Kench. Oh my lord. Okay, doing Krugs. There's an interesting thing here we could talk about. In terms of making money, how do you what's it called? Is there a better way to make this more efficient?
I don't know.
For making money. What's the most efficient way of making money for AD carry?
Getting creeps?
Right. So, are there any waves you can get right now?
I could go get the one bot, but there's 4 MIA.
You just saw someone base though, right? Yeah, you just saw Fizz mid, Alawi top, Jinx base, so it's gonna be Alistar and Master Yi. So if Alistar Master Yi come, do you guys automatically lose? I think you guys would be fine, right? If Master Yi and Nautilus come. So you should always push first before you do something else, right? Always push first before you do something else. And then sure, mid is having issues. Can you even, I don't think they even need you. Okay, they need you. They're trying something.
I think I get a
Sick Nautilus ulti, holy shit.
I think I get a sweet ulti, but I don't get any of the kills here.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Nice.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't it. Yeah, I died there.
So what could we have done better here?
I probably should. Yeah, that was a mistake right there. Going forward.
I think there's a over eagerness of using your ulti for damage, right?
Yeah.
What is the best value of Xayah ulti, I guess?
It pretty much denies any kind of assassination or any hard CC, pretty much.
Right, if you can dodge something, right, that's a big one. Even dodging an auto attack late game is very, very good, right? So unless you're going to one-shot someone with it, I'm going to tell you to save it always as like a rule for now, right? As a rule for now. Until you can have good usage of your ulti every time, we're going to have that as a rule because I think we saw it like too many times.
Yeah.
I think most of the time we used it to I think most of the time we use it to try and do something like using it for Fizz ulti would be very good, for example, right? Oh, that flash though. Too bad they get the dragon, right? Let's talk about this. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, we go mid because we can't really go bot. It looks scary, right? That's fine.
Yeah, I neither did. I was trying to ping it, and then Fizz comes out of nowhere.
You can't really stop them, right? Because they're strong. So, kind of awkward. Sure, you want to go bot? Oh, Shaco cucked you. That's awkward. Do camps, I hope. Oh, what the hell? Okay, he's killing people.
I was trying
Wow.
to ping him off of this, and he got mad at me.
That's fine. I mean,
yeah.
It's fine to backping someone when they're 1v2 or when they have less people.
Yeah.
Basically, always backping them, right? Because if they ignore your backpings, that means they think this play is so good, they're gonna keep going, right? And then you trust them. And then if if they realize, wait, I don't know what I'm doing, they'll back off, right? So it's always good to backping your team if you think they're doing something dumb. And you just kill this guy, right? Very nice. And then push bot. Okay, very nice. So I think so far, the only issue with your fighting is like ulti usage, right? I would say would be like the big issue. Yeah. And beyond that, it's like the laning stuff, right? Can we get another wave? So let's say, can we get another wave from here?
I think I cancel my recall if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Oh no, I don't. Yeah, I should have got that.
And then how do we know? At what point do we know we can get this?
I could just look where my minions are. Can know where it's gonna crash.
So this is the idea: is you want this wave, bot, right?
Yeah.
But let's say Master Yi can kill you, right?
Okay.
So what do?
I can't, like, I don't know where he is, so the safe play would probably be to not get it.
So
Or,
what if he shows up on the map?
well, then I can get it.
Right. So where do you hide to wait until he shows up on the map?
Just in a bush, I guess.
This is good, right? I would say this is a good spot. And then if you just look at the mini map and you wait until you can see the guy who's gonna kill you, right? Once you spot all of them, boom, Master G. That means you can get those 6 minions, right? That's how you can figure out whether you can get it or not. And then let's say, for example, Rengar is literally never showing up on the map. Then what do?
Wait, so if he's never gonna show up?
Right. If he's never showing up, and then you're like, oh, I can't get this wave, I guess. What do you do instead?
I'm not sure. Well, Master Yi can kill me. Jinx can kill me. Well, like, I just lose CS if I don't get it, but at the cost of dying potentially.
All right. You either have to wait longer than them until they give up and do something else,
Yeah.
and you see them on the map, or you can run into somewhere you know is safe. Run to a different lane. Run to your wraiths here next to Nivea. Anything like that. But you need to be making money somehow, right? And yeah, one way you can do it is you just wait until you see them on the map, so you can go push, right? That's kind of the idea. Okay, base and go mid. I think this is fine because we're helping our team. Baron call, interesting. I don't think the Baron call will work.
Well,
Why won't the Baron call work?
I saw 2 dead, but I don't know. I thought it was a good idea with all 5 of us standing against.
So
3 of
who
them.
tanks Baron?
Oh, it would have to be Nasus.
And
or
then
Tahm Kench.
who stops Jinx from hitting the closest guy?
Anivia?
Right, but how much HP does she have?
Oh. Yeah, I didn't see that.
And then it's like Shaco's HP
okay.
too on top of that. So that's how you know
Okay.
Baron's dicey, right? Whenever it's unknown, you want to not go for it. Oh snap, we got hit by the thing.
Yeah.
Here comes a Jinx rocket maybe on Anivia's face.
Tab and I take another hit.
That's super. Oh my, dude, it's slapping you, dude. Holy shit. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's exact. That's what I see. If I was Jinx, that would be what I'd be looking for, right?
I was expecting that, but not the Tahm Kench flash.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, come on.
And then here, okay, let's back it up until we respawn. And then here we want to go mid because I guess Baron is up. Sure. But yeah, I think we need a way to recover from laning phase, right? Which is where can you go make money is the idea. Right now, Shaco's taking all your money, so that's really awkward.
Yeah. It's usually side lanes.
Mm-hmm. Unless your mid laner's an assassin or something. Wow, nice route, nice route. Oh, what's going on here? Let's check this out.
Another offensive ulti.
Right, it's like this one was really good, but even here, I would say, what is it? I would say don't do it, right? Because I think there's just a habit of only using it for something like this, right?
Okay.
So this is what I mean by don't do it. Okay. So when we have rules for how we play, you know how I'm like never do 4v5, but what if this guy is face checking, right? And even though he has 5 people, you blow up the AD carry. Then it's so obvious you can 4v5, you do it, right? So in this case, when I say the rule is do not use your ulti for offense and only use it to dodge something, right? Then when you see something super obvious, that's the only time you can break the rule, right? And then that way we can minimize the what's it called? That way we can maximize the success rate, I guess, on your ultimates, right? Is make sure we have this like iron rule, and you'd only break it if you know without a doubt in your mind it's gonna work. So this is actually really good. I think they were perfectly timed with the Anivia ulti, and then they were just chasing super hard. So that was pretty hot. But yeah, even though it was really good, and I think we could up the success rate. It's just that I think it's been like finding these ults has been. It looks so good that you keep trying to do it too many times. I think. And what do you think the percentage of Xayah ults are used like that out of 10?
Oh,
Out of 100, I guess.
For me or
No, like a challenger player or like
like
anything like that.
2 in 100.
No, I wouldn't say 2 in 100, but is
Only
not the
50
most
rockets,
common usage, right? Yeah, it's not a common usage. It's actually probably like 10%, 20%,
Yeah.
something like that. So you want to kind of get closer to that instead of like 100% or 80%. You know what I'm saying? So far this is good, right? Clearing waves. Sure, we can push mid since an went top. Nice. I think our biggest issue is really the laning, right? I would agree.
Yeah.
And ulti usage. Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, why?
What's going on here?
Yes, yeah, spam pinned back. They were just doing it.
Yeah, this is another rule is if your team is doing something and you cannot help them, don't help them. Right?
Okay.
This is 100% bad. How do we know?
Oh, it's our jungler's not here. They have vision. And
Okay. I'm not gonna
people are
say it's 100% bad. I'm gonna say the reason why I say it's 100% bad is because your team thinks you want to finish it. Right? What's the goal here? What do you want? Right? It's the same idea with the matchup. What do you want to do?
Baiting
Right.
them out of defending.
Right. You want to bait the shit out of them so that they come stop you while you're Shaco backdoors or some crazy shit like that. Right?
Yeah.
So the idea is that you hit it a few times and then you can leave. Right? And then they'll chase you. You hit it until they come and then you have to leave. Right?
I don't even think that was an intention, but yeah.
Yeah, you always need to know what you're trying to do. Otherwise, something that will go wrong can go wrong. Like let's say, how many times have you seen a team start Baron and then everyone dies, even though someone said let's turn. Someone's trying to finish it, right? It's not everyone knew what was going on, right? No one was sure what they wanted. You can actually live here if you ulti Fizzy. Oh, there it is. Okay, almost perfectly timed, but you really had to dodge that Jinx ulti, right? So this is a good example, right? We used ulti to make a good play, right? So if we can do this with every single ultimate, how many good plays is that in a game?
Every single time, pretty much. If I live.
That's a lot of good plays. How many? That's like 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a lot of good plays, right?
Yeah.
The more good plays you do, the what's it called? The more load you take off your team in terms of who needs to carry, right? And then you guys do Baron again, I guess. Jesus. Sure, you guys get it. Very nice. I would say that everything after the laning phase has been at least okay. Not bad, right? I don't think we made any mistakes except what happened? We died to Tom Kench thing. Hold up. We died when Jinx ulti Tom Kench or something like that. How do we take damage? I don't even remember.
Where?
25. We're at 25. There was a time when...
Oh, the Tom Kench flashed.
Oh,
ulti hit me.
Alright. Oh, there's this time too.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see this. Yeah, there's this one too, right?
Yeah.
It could have been literally... okay, we can like watch this in hindsight. We can talk about this too. What's the best way to kill this guy without using ulti?
Just QE maybe?
Yeah, you can just auto attack, right?
Yeah, auto attack.
Yeah. And then what happens when Jinx tries to auto you?
Back the hell up.
Then you can do ulti E flash, right? That's an ulti E flash, right?
Okay, yeah.
But if you can't figure it out, then you just ulti him back off, right? That's also good too, right? You just have to make sure that anything you do is good. That's really the idea what's going on here, right? Everything you do is good. And you have to make sure that it's clean. Otherwise, it's not good for your team, right? I can't really remember the spot where Tom Kench flashed into us and then it was like, oh, that's really awkward. Let me see. Was anyone near here? It was like near the second tower. I don't think it matters that much, but I'm just curious.
I think it was after the play that we were just watching.
Oh, here we go.
Right here. Yeah.
Okay. This one is they're all dead, so you have more people, so you want to fight, right? That's the idea.
I got wrecked there.
Okay, you don't worry about something like this unless you see a lot of Alawi. but don't worry about this too much. Honestly,
Tabbing.
you don't worry about this too much. Okay, you don't care about this, right? That's not something you need to focus on. Okay, where were we at? 26. Yeah, don't worry about that. Whenever something like super troll happens, don't worry about it. As long as just worry about the things that you can work on, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're working on improving the things that you're trying to improve, you're happy, right? That's how I view League of Legends, at least. Let's see, sieging top. So yeah, dude, everything is, fighting is good overall, except ulti, and then being with your team is good. The only things I think you need to really work on are the laning, right? The ulti usage, and after laning, I think once laning isn't so tragic, we can look at mid game stuff, right? Which is pushing waves. Wow, I think they're just like killing Jinx somehow. Shaco hero.
Yeah, the only other thing outside of lane is my CSing outside of the lane. It's just
Yeah, you have
not
no
where I
money.
want it to be.
So how do you get 200 CS in 20 minutes? What do you think?
That's what I don't know. I imagine taking waves bot in between, stuff happening in the game, but it doesn't work out for me, so I'm kind of clueless.
So so remember how we talked about the matchup? We say this is what you want to do. This is your standard idea, is you always want to all in, you always want to trade, whatever, right? That's your standard idea. The standard idea in the mid game for AD carry is making as much money as possible, and to do that is you want to push waves past the river, right? Do you know that? Have you seen that before? Are you kind of familiar with the idea of priority?
Not really, I don't think.
Okay, that's fine. Essentially, it's just push it past the river, right? And the reason why we push it past the river is because, say you push it past the river, right, onto their side of the map, and then you go do Krugs. When you come back, it's coming back to you. The wave is going to bounce back to you eventually, right? So let's say the AD carry doesn't push it back. So you push it past the river, you run mid, a fight happens, the fight's over, you go back bot, you have another 3 waves waiting for you, and the enemy AD carry lost all those waves, right?
Oh.
So essentially, you cannot lose by pushing past the river. That's your standard play, right? Okay, and then the next question is, what happens if they freeze, right? What happens if they freeze on their tower? Then you can run into their jungle and then 2v1 them, and you win, right? Because they're playing without a person, right? 4v5, right? We know people with more people always wins. So you're gonna get Rift Herald, use it top, and then game's over, or something like that.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
always push it past the river is how you get 200 CS by 20 minutes, right? And then let's see.
Didn't know that.
Right, that's always the super easy tip to give out that'll change people's CS, but that's not really something we need to focus on yet, because we need to make sure laning's okay, right? Oh wow, what happened here?
Total misplay. Yeah, I should have dodged that with my ult, then I use it after, then I early recall. So
Well, I'm not sure what you can do here.
maybe if I waited it out, I could have rooted him. Because I blade recall way too early here.
Oh, you should have flashed his E, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess that's the only real thing, right? This is the right idea though, right? This is what I want to see, is your ulti used for dodging something, right? And then if you ever break that rule, it's because you found some RE flash that's super obvious or something like that. And then if that doesn't work, you write it down and say, okay, why did this go wrong? You mark it down, right? This is what I do. Is this is what this is, not clean, right? I tried to do something that was not standard, didn't work because it wasn't clean or something like that.
Okay.
Right? Has to work. If it doesn't work, that's the mistake, right? So here, dying to enemy engage a lot, you gotta work on that, right? That's how I can figure out what I need to work on. Yeah,
So you just tally it.
yeah, I write stuff down. I watch Plays TV, tally it up, and then I'm like, oh, looks like I'm really bad at dying to ganks. So that's how I figured out all this gank stuff, right? Is I watched all my replays, I'm like, oh, why am I dying to a gank? Like literally every game. So yeah, every time for you, I would say the quickest way for you to improve landing is watch all your landing phases, and you mark down a mistake every time you do like XYZ wrong. Like we play the matchup wrong or gank, right? They had more people, map awareness, etc. Those are pretty much the main things that can go wrong in lane phase, right? And then you'd work on whatever needs most work on, right? And then I guess the rest of the game is just you just push down, push something, and then you win. You have triple inhibs.
Yeah.
Let's watch this. Okay, very good, very good. This is perfect ulti. Like, okay, you can definitely do it. Okay, just stick with this, right? Imagine if you did this every time and they died. How many kills / assists would you have? You'd have so many, right? Especially at this rank, they will legit suicide into you. Like, remember how Nautilus walked up even though you guys went all in, right? They will always do some stupid shit. So as long as we are minimizing our mistakes, it's free kills like every time. I promise. Okay, we'll just end the game, I guess. Oh, Tom Kench. Tom Kench, baby. Mechanics are very nice. Look at this. I like this. Okay, missed an auto attack, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. Overall, very nice, right? This is the this is actually the thing that we could have done when we were all-inning, right? Hold up. Remember the bot lane play where Nautilus walked forward and we used our W and Tom Kench ate him? We could have this is the exact line of play I thought you were gonna do, which is press W and then Q or E or whatever, right? Yeah, that's the idea. Your W is all in.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's before we call it a day, let's take a look at a few laning examples. How about that? With Xayah. So we can see how it, so we can compare to make sure that we know what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who's good at Xayah. Let's do Bang, right? And then 2 weeks ago, sure, that's pretty recent. And fast forward, and then we examine the lane matchup. Okay, Ezreal Janna, Xayah Khan. That's almost the same as Karma, right? What do we think that Ezreal Janna is?
It's pretty much poke lane with shield on Ezreal. And,
agreed.
Not all in. Yeah, poke trade.
Right, poke trade, and then I would say less trade because Janna is more poke nowadays, right? But and you can also say she's catch, right? If you're far up the lane and she W's you and the jungler comes out, you're like, Jesus, dude, this is I'm so slow. So you can have like small amount of catch in there. And then how about Xayah Khan? I guess we talked about this, but let's do it again.
Yeah, the all in, little bit of trade, catch.
Essentially, yeah, all in trade and then some catch, right? I would say big trade because Xayah's W is basically unbeatable, right? Xayah's W is on par with like Cog W and Varus trading as well. So let's see what's going on here. So notice that the first thing, no matter what you do, you must dodge the poke, right? Similar to how against all in, no matter what you do, you must avoid the all in, right? It's the same concept, right? And then if Janna tries to, what would have happened if Janna tried to W him?
He could have. What? She would have W'd him, and then he would have landed his Q on Xayah.
Well, he has W, right? Because he wants to all in level 1, right?
Okay.
So if Xayah tried to W, this is exactly what would happen, right? Is he just dies. Goodbye. Okay. Right? So that's what you know. Matchup. That's it. Is the instant she's close enough to try and poke / trade, we turn that into an all-in immediately. Right? That's the punish. Right? And then when it becomes later into the game, you have to make sure the jungler is not here. Otherwise, you could get punished. Right? You get baited. You get baited into trying to follow the matchup, right? But yeah, all in. That's it. Easy, right? Okay, let's fast forward a bit, and then let's see what's going on. Base. Oh, no base. No base. Oh, got away. Okay, nice. And base. Sure, by a call, doesn't matter. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, same thing. Nothing changed, right? Legit same thing. I think they saw a jungler top. Oh, what's going on? Same thing, right? Oh, no knock up. Okay, nice try. And then you see, this is the important part, right? After he looked for the trade, it was successful, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Good trade, right?
Win trades, yeah.
Overall. And then notice how he's not trying to do anything after, right? Why is that?
He's on W cooldown.
Exactly, right? If you don't have anything up, you can't trade / all in, right? That's what allows you to trade / all in. So he's waiting for his cooldowns, right? So fast forward, it's up in like 3 seconds, so he's gonna try and do it again, right? It's the same thing over and over again. They're gonna try and poke. we're gonna try an all-in catch, right? Oh, this guy's dead. Jesus. Goodbye, right? That's it. That's it. It's just as long as you can do the match, as long as you know what your matchup is, you will punish the first misstep you see, right? But if you don't know the matchup, then how can you really punish, right? Slash, how do you avoid getting punished? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just
So, yeah,
hoping.
exactly. Same thing as Ezreal. He knows they're trying to all in, which is why he can dodge something like that because he knows it's coming. Oh baby, this is a tower dive. This looks dicey. Oh, it's gonna be dicey.
Oh,
Oh my, they're suiciding for this. Yeah. So tower dive is 2v2. Did not work. Goodbye. Right. That's pretty bad. Right. Whatever. Bang tried to follow up. Doesn't matter. Just died at the tower. And then notice how he's just pushing. Right. What's the gank condition in this lane? What do they get hit by in order for them to lose to a gank?
WQ by Jana? Or who's the
Um,
jungler?
Right, that's a great question. We need to take a look. Oh, Camille. And it's
So-
Rush.
Okay, so there's no Camille ulti. She doesn't have any other CC, does she? Or
She has
slow?
her stun, right?
Oh, she has a stun. I didn't know that.
Right, the hook shot stuns if it lands, right? So
Okay.
you're right. Jenna NATO and the stun. That's how you die to a gank. So if you can dodge both those things, you can push, right? Is the idea. So he can push. He saw Camille top. So he can push anyways, right? Same thing. Looking at maybe trying to hit the tower, but really don't want to get poked, right? Otherwise you can't all in. Let's see. He's just trying to avoid poke, but I guess he's just getting hit. That's kind of awkward. I remember that if you get poked too much, right, you lose the ability to all in, right? Because you have no HP. Okay, fast forward. Let's see if anything happens. Show me some action. Okay, here we go. What's going on? So this is the idea: is gank condition, right? Hit by stun. That's the only way.
And the R.
He can't get hit by stun, so he's okay. But actually, it looks like his support died. Oh, that's awkward. So I guess ulti was another gank condition, right? So that's how they lose. Holy shit! You see this? That was hot.
Oh wow. Holy.
Right. So they got punished because they didn't figure out that they were dying to a gank. Does it seem similar to the things we're talking about today?
Yeah.
So that's the idea,
all
right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
It all makes sense now, right? Oh, how does he know he can hit this guy?
They just win.
They win trade
He
and all
stepped
in,
up.
right? They win trade. He stepped up. It's the same thing you did. Is you lost trade and you stepped up. So you tried to immediately punish, right? It's the same idea. So look at the difference in HP now. That's what happens, right? So now you lose control over dragon, bot side, etc., etc. Oh my god! Goodbye. Yo, that was hot. That was amazing. Look at that combo. Right?
Yeah.
Lose to all in, right? Let's say Ezreal had gotten away. He loses tower, right? So no matter what, you don't want to all in versus all in, right? You always lose. That's what I want you to think is always play according to the matchup. You will always win, right? That's what I want you to think. It's similar to how you will always win if you have more people, right? There are exceptions, but they're like 1 in 100. So yeah, base, sure. You can buy shit, sure. And then when were the only times you use this ulti thus far?
To get away, I think.
Right, defensively, right? There's no offensive ulti play. Unless it's so obvious, you break that rule. Okay, I guess Xayah can poke now because she has some AD. Wow, Xayah has all 4 categories, dude. Seems good, right?
Yeah.
Good champion, good champion.
So what happens if you are the, like, let's say just poke lane or whatever against the all-in? How do you come out, like...
How do you win
very
that? Okay, so a few options. You can land your poke, they have no HP, and they have the base, right? That's like the standard. You have your jungler near you and you get hit by all in on purpose, right? Then they get baited and they die to a gank, right? But if you can't poke them down, you just have to push and run, right? Otherwise you're gonna die, and hope to get even farm, because usually the poking champions will outscale the all-in champions,
Okay.
right? Like Janna, outscales. Xayah, that's pretty dumb scaling, right? Brand, any of that shit. Xerath, those guys are really good at scaling, right? But they immediately die if they get hit by like Alistar combo. So that's kind of the trade-off. So let's say for me right now, the rank I play at, the easiest way to do it is have my jungler next to me and then bait them into thinking that we're getting caught on purpose or getting caught on accident, right?
Okay.
So like that, right? Right here, right? Isn't this exactly what I said, right?
Yeah.
They're like they pretend to get caught, and then all of a sudden Camille's here, right? So that's the idea. Is you have a man advantage, right? You have to have something though, TP, whatever, or you have a way to outplay the engage, but that's less common, right? Like Ezreal is going to E out of the Rakan knockup, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh my god, he died. Yo, beast, dude. Korea Ezreal is so good.
Or
Yeah.
like you poke him down, and let's say there's just something that's completely free, and you know for sure you're gonna get away with a kill. Let's say like versus all in.
Oh yeah. If you poke them down, right? Let's say you poke Alistar to 50 HP, and he combos you and you flash. That's a win, right?
Yeah.
As long as you can figure out a way, but just always remember the rule, right? Is the matchup, and then you can find the exception after. You have to know the rule first, though, right? A lot of players don't really know that, so they do like weird stuff and it doesn't work, right? A lot of the times it's not gonna work. Oh, what's going on here? He's gonna get poked. Oh, feels bad, man. Getting poked.
Thanks.
Same idea though. They still have enough HP to win all in, right? So let's see what happens. Oh, what's going on? He's pushing. So this is the important thing we were talking about earlier is how do you get 200 CS at 20 minutes? Is you push first, right? You have to push first, okay? That's where you get your money. And then he comes help, but there's nothing to help here. It was already over. And then some crazy shit's going on. Base and goes mid, sure. Pushes first, right? Push or clear, right? What if you can't push because of the Master E thing we were talking about? Then you let it come to you and then you clear, right? Is the idea. Okay. So this is exactly what we're talking about is you need to push first. All the time. This is how you make money, right? So even though we have 2 deaths, how much CS does he have? At what time?
Whoa, 156 at, what does it say? 17? 30?
Right. It'd be 180 if he didn't die twice, right? So that's the idea.
Okay.
And then this is kind of advanced, but he's trying to siege. In solo queue at your rank, just never siege, okay?
Okay.
It never works. So just backping people. Unless like they're all on the other side of the map or they're dead, right? Those are the exceptions. But honestly, in solo queue, most of the time it's just going to go poorly. And then let's see. We're doing... Oh, shit. They snuck a dragon. Sneaky. Yeah, he pushed first, right? Before he went to check, right? So it's all the same. All the same thing. Everything we talked about today is the exact same with just different complexity in the higher ranks, right? It's literally the same thing. Comes back mid, pushes, right? Let's see. And then goes top side. Sure. He's just going to do something. Goes back mid. Oh, okay. So this is the idea of... This is what happens if you try to push when they can engage on you. Right? So if you don't know if you can push, it's just better to just wait. Because if you fall for something like this, you almost lose the game. Right? Give up 2 kills, give up tower, give up Rift Herald, right? That's what this is going to happen.
Okay.
Right, so that's... If they have engage, right? Yeah, that's actually the reason why I tell you not to siege, is because if clearing here, if pushing in the middle of the lane is very dangerous, then what about hitting the tower?
Yeah.
You're gonna die, right? So, sure, base, sure, he has items. He hasn't used ulti at all, right? It's the only time is against Camille when she tried to dive him, and then they're trying to fight for mid lane right now. Oh, all in wins, right? We still know that the matchup is the same, even past level 6. And then see this ulti usage, right?
Yeah.
It's always best to use it for something like this. That's the most consistent way to get an advantage. Always good usage, right? And then you can do all this, right? You can press Q, you can press W. I think you did that really well. Oh wow, very nice find. Kills everyone, easy, right? One good ulti play, and that's all you needed for Baron. One good matchup play, which is all in against the poke team, and then one good ulti usage, and they won the game, right? Essentially, right? Take Baron, and then all they do is push every lane and they win, essentially, right? It's not as easy as it sounds, but Essentially, that's how. I mean, basically, that's how it goes, right? Get enough advantages, you can't lose. And then look at the CS at the timer now.
Yeah, like how did he just totally catch up for like a what? He was down like 20 or 30 CS.
Right, you gotta push every single wave, right? That's it. I promise. That's the secret. If you ever watch Fnatic, Reckless does this every single time, where he has like 280 farm at 22 minutes, right? That's the secret. Is you need to push it past the river before you do anything else, right? You're on a carry roll. You need to get all this money. Otherwise, we tickle the enemy tank, and it's really sad. Okay, what principle are they using here to win this fight?
What was that?
Like, what rule are they using to win this fight? Like, why would they take this fight? How do they know they win?
They have man advantage all over the bot side of the map.
Exactly, right? They're Ezreal and Jen are mid, so it doesn't matter what he does. They're gonna win this. Oh my god, they can even dive. They're gonna win, right? So more people is a win. That's what I want you to think. Always, always, always. And then notice how this ulti like almost doesn't work, right? It's not that good, right? Ezreal almost got away, but real close. Nice try. But yeah, most of the ultis are not like that, right? So unless it's very obvious to you, don't use it like that, right? And then push. Okay, what's going on here? Oh baby, yeah, you can do all this, right? Press W, QE. I saw you do all that, so you're good at that. He's gonna die. Why did he die, right? What rule made it so that they die here?
Man advantage on the enemy team. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, basically.
Taking top, 5v4, dead.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's true that Ezreal was still spawning, but he even contributed with ulti, right? So basically, they just had less people, so can't win, right? So they all died. It's all the same, right? Doesn't matter what level of play you're at, the general ideas are the same, right? And if you can apply these, if like the people at your rank don't even know this, you can apply these rules and punish them really, really hard, right? Like let's say for example, how many 80 carries do you see in your games get like 180 CS at 20 minutes?
Oh, doesn't really happen.
Exactly, right?
Ever.
So if you can do that, you're gonna win every time. Okay, let's watch this. Where did he use his ulti? Let's see.
Offensively, I think right here.
Oh baby, right? So if it's so obvious you guys are winning, sure, but still, if he had saved his ulti, would the end result have changed?
No.
Agreed. So always better to save it, right? For now, we need to basically turn the bad habit into a good habit, right? And the way to do that is to do the extreme, right? So right now we're only using it offensively. Now we have to do the opposite, right? Only use it to dodge something, and then we'll be good to go, right? And that's it. Right? Didn't he die 3 times in lane? Right? So this is kind of the idea: is you play the matchup right, and then sure sometimes you'll lose because enemy jungler's there. Then you write it down. You're like, oh, even though matchup is correct, more people is stronger. Right? That's how you know man advantage is super strong. And then it's like, oh, push every wave, and that's how you get all this money, right? And then every time you use ulti, it has to be good, and then you'll have good plays, right? Like when Rush tried to stun him. That was actually a really sick ultimate. But I think you can do that. I saw your timing on like Jinx ulti and Fizz ulti, and it was really, really clean, right? So if you can do something like that, then I think it'll improve your gameplay a lot, right? So, but for sure, take a look at the laning. And even though laning will seem like it's improving slowly, as long as you are thinking about the matchup and trying to play it out correctly, you'll see improvement.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
That's what I want you to think. The big thing is the laning, right? I agree. Is we need to take a look and say, tell yourself in loading screen, what categories is my lane, what categories is their lane, and then use that to say, oh, they have no all in and we do. We're gonna do that thing, right? And then if they have trading and we don't trade ever, right? That's what I want you to think. And then I think that'll help you the most for laning. So yeah, focus on that for sure. For now, every game, like now and forever. It's basically coaching is about building good habits, right? And I think you can do this because I think you're like the first person to give like the correct answers on everything really quick. So I was like, wow, it really shows that you know you know like the matchup. You just have to talk it through and make sure you're doing what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
I was just like, I was like, damn, like no mistakes. It was like, oh yeah, poke, sometimes catch, right? And then we're just all in trade catch. It's like, oh yeah, it's perfect.
yeah.
Now
It's
just keep
just like,
telling yourself in lane. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
oh, sorry. I was just saying, it's just some of those no-brain plays. I just don't think about it, and obviously you see what happens. I just don't think about it,
Right,
and I take
exactly,
stupid ults, stupid trades,
exactly. Well,
fights.
I think that you can do really well, especially considering your mechanics, right? So as long as you can get this part down and then just get perfect CS mid game, good to go. Like team fights seem pretty good. Um, and you already know about the LT thing, right? Let's just throw
Yeah.
this in here. What's this lane?
Sorry, I can't see where your cursor is.
Oh snap! This one on the Xayah branch Histana Blitz.
Oh, Xayah branched on a blitz. Um, well, our lane is poke, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be catch
Agreed.
with Brand Q. Their lane is all in slash catch, like with Tristana, pretty much.
Agreed. Right.
Blitz crank is catch, yeah.
So who's all in is better, Xayah's or Tristana's?
Is this depending on mechanics played out correctly?
Yeah, just land everything.
Okay, Xayah.
I would say, yeah, I'll give the edge to Xayah. So you guys went all in. You guys went there's both sides have catch. So whoever gets hit is Dunzo, and then you guys have poke.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all you need to know. And then you're like, oh, as long as we dodge blitz hook, we can win. And then yeah, that's about it. Good to go. Play along those lines. So yeah, let me know how your games go. Do you have any last questions?
No, actually, you pretty much covered all of it. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
cool, dude. No problem. Let me know how things go. And the best way to make sure you're improving is to always watch your VODs, right? For you, just watch laning. That's all you need to do. And just be
Yeah.
like, oh, did we play this matchup part right? And then you're good to go.
Yeah, I figured I can look up guides on good macro play and whatnot, right? But like the laning, I was just really stumped on what I was doing wrong. That was just getting me destroyed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I got you.
that covers it. Thank you very much.
No problem. Let me know how things go.
I will maybe come for a lesson at a later time. See.
Sounds good. Like
Saber.
you'll know when you need another lesson when you can do all this, and then you're
Yeah.
losing games for a different reason, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
sounds good. Sounds
Alright.
good. All right.
Thank you
Have a
again.
good night then.
Yeah, you too.